So, folks, we gotta talk about the fact that, Donald Trump is falling apart, right? It's just very obvious to everybody involved that, his brain is turning to mush. This was a Truth Social post from, 2 days ago or so. He just went on a lengthy tear of posting AI slop images of him on a battleship for some reason, blowing up Iranian boats, presumably. And he's gone, guys. You can look at videos of him from even 5 years ago, and he hasn't more together. But we've arrived at possibly a new low for the Trump administration, which is saying something. But in terms of its sanity, in terms of its self-preservation instincts and skills, we're at a new low. I just want to play this quick clip for you guys here. This happened earlier today.
Okay, go ahead.
So let me speak a little bit about the reality that 1 in 3 Americans are underbabied. What does underbabied mean? That means that you either don't have any children or you have less children than you would normally want to have. And to Katie's point, we have a crisis that's causing our fertility rate to drop below 1.5. The replacement rate is 2.1. So we're way below what we need just to replace the people that we have in America. And
okay, go ahead.
Now, something interesting about this, just right off the bat, is that America isn't at 1.5, when it comes to the replacement rate. But also, that is where the white people in this country, what their replacement rate is. It's pretty, it's not even subtle anymore, guys. They are just straight up employing white supremacist statistics. What they are explicitly saying here is that white people in this country are not having enough babies or are underbabied, which I feel like that's a really dystopian term just on its own, but I've got another one for you here. Here's another clip from the same press conference.
they're private companies who are now taking advantage of the whole group of individuals who can get access to fertility medications and the treatments that go with them. And as the services get better, we make them more affordable, we'll have more Trump babies.
Yeah, and we hope that that lays the groundwork there so that anyone has an ability to receive these. And also remember, this is all on moms.gov as well.
Yeah, so they're trying to call children conceived while Trump is in office Trump babies. I gotta be honest, guys, it's like seeing someone try and force a new nickname or try and force new slang. Fetch isn't gonna happen here, guys. Stop it. It's weird and gross. These people are weird and gross. They got up in front of the entire country to talk about how white people need to have more babies and how, don't worry, we've put all of the information you need at moms.gov. And that's a real place, by the way. They've been heavily pushing it on their social media platforms. Make American families again. Moms.gov is the ultimate resource for expecting moms and parents. And I'm gonna shock you guys with this. People aren't foregoing having children because they just don't know how to have babies, right? People are foregoing children because of material conditions. The things that it's always. That's what determines whether or not there are population booms or busts. If you wanted people to have more children, you'd give them more economic security. It's all so stupid. And it's all so very obvious. And it all is, of course, connected to the fact that Donald Trump's brain is turning into mush. And I say this because we've all known for a long time that Donald Trump is a longtime proponent of and the anti-vax movement. He was one of the early guys out there saying vaccines cause autism without any proof. He's just absolutely wild in these days. But I wanted to play this clip for you. This is from an interview he did just either earlier today, late last night. I'm not entirely sure, but here you go.
A woman named Katie Talento, if I'm saying her name correctly, who recently stated that in 2017 she worked for you, and her job was to keep Bobby Kennedy as far from the West Wing as possible after you had agreed to a vaccine safety commission. Did you know about that? She's published on that the last couple of days. She says she's apologizing for that, basically. Did you know that at the time that there was somebody supposedly tasked with keeping Bobby Kennedy away?
No, I didn't. He's doing a good job. I think Bobby, people love him. I didn't know about that.
Do you think there should be a vaccine safety commission?
A commission on what?
Vaccine safety, something to examine.
It's like we've encountered a lich. He's just falling apart. Like bits of him are cracking off. It's crazy. Like I'm the main thrust of playing this clip, by the way, isn't even like this point that I'm making here, but like
Commission?
A commission on what?
A commission on what?
People love him. I didn't know about that.
Do you think there should be a vaccine safety commission?
A commission on what?
It's not difficult.
Looking at his
man.
cabinet, I'd say that Trump causes alcoholism.
It's just, she says the name of it, the Vaccine Safety Commission, and that he's like, a commission on what? Like the level of, he's not there anymore, guys. He's just coasting on momentum. Also, Red Rudy, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Vaccine safety, something to examine, something like he
I believe
proposed back
in
then.
vaccines, but I don't believe that, you have to have a mandate for all of them. The polio vaccine's amazing. It's, wiped it out. And I believe in vaccines, but, I think we were up to 88 vaccines. And I really feel that vaccines, if they were given in smaller quantities, they want to cut some out, and that's good too. And I agree with that. 82 is too many. If you look at Denmark and other countries, you have 12, 14, I think 17. And we have like 82. But I look at these beautiful little babies, and they get a vat, so like a big glass of stuff pumped into their bodies. And I think it's a very negative thing to.
What is he, like, legitimately, what is he talking about? Where is the vat of substance injected into newborns that he is alleging exists? Like, I'm sorry. Anyone who has ever, like, gone to a hospital to meet a newborn baby knows that he's full of shit. That's gotta be the soup brain talking. It's gotta be. But, like, I'm so sick of every day waking up and seeing mainstream media, like, hang off of his every word, like it's to be taken seriously, when it's very clear that he is falling apart at the seams. Like, he's seeing, like, AI imagery and thinking it's real. Like Jordan Peterson, how Jordan Peterson that one time saw, like, Chinese milking porn and thought it was, like, a real thing that they were doing to get secrets out of American GIs. Like, he's gone. It's why he's posting, like, medbed shit and, like, AI images. He doesn't know what's real anymore. And, like, he's always been anti-vax. But, like, he's been smart enough to know when he looks like an insane person and avoids that as much as possible, right? Like, he's doing it for a reason, and that reason is to, like, ingratiate himself with his base. Here, he's just essentially doing the "You'll never get me, Lucky Charms," and then, like, leaping over, like, the background set. Like, he's just gone, guys. Ruthie, thank you for the 1,000 jewels. I don't know what that translates to, but I very much appreciate it.
And I would like to see it. I'm not doing this in terms of Bobby or not. I hope they agree with that, but that's just my opinion. I would love to see much smaller shots, like 4 visits to the doctor. And I think you would have a much better result with the autism.
Like, he's literally just over here being like, what if we gave the babies less substance for each shot? And it's like, that's not how That's not how vaccines work. Like, if you dilute the dose, it doesn't, like, then it doesn't work. It's so stupid. It's just so stupid. God. All of this.
I know we were close to eradicating some diseases from the planet, but let's give Big Polio a chance.
No. He likes the polio one. He very specifically said that he likes the polio one. So that one we're good. Any other disease though is fair game, right? Oh God. It's all so stupid. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Very much appreciated. Well, yeah, the original point of, like, the anti-vax movement was so that a grifter could sell 3 different vaccines instead of a combined single-dose vaccine. And, like, Donald Trump is keeping that alive because he bought that entire grift hook, line, and sinker, you know? Like, he just straight up went out there and was like, hey, we are, in fact, just gonna keep running with the grift. Andrew Wakefield has gotten tens of thousands of children killed at this point. Like, genuinely vile, evil shit. Lucy Hayes, thank you so much for the raid. Nathan, thank you for the $5
Watching
dono.
your Steven Crowder stuff right now, wanted to say you were afraid of the monosphere. Now get ready for the woman cube.
The woman cube. And they're not ready for the non-binary T-posers. Lux Progressive, thank you for the raid. Very much appreciated. Annalise Azura, thank you for the 1,000 jewels. God. Had to use my gem things. So if the gems are free money on YouTube, I appreciate that big that Google money you're redirecting into my wallet. I appreciate it. But of course, all of this is absolutely bonkers nonsense because the guy who is clearly deteriorating in front of us, who is getting worse and worse and worse all the time, they're now having people, like, essentially kowtow to him while talking about how they're gonna create more Trump babies for him. Like, I gotta be honest, guys. It's deeply, deeply weird. And I wanted to share another clip from this. It just in case, like, the weirdness of it wasn't really hammered home.
Supporting the journey of American moms at every stage is so important to the success of our nation. I'd now like to ask Senator Katie Britt. She's the one that got me into this, I have to tell you. I hope she always remains loyal to me so I can continue to support her.
You got it.
I would hate to go against her. That will never happen, Katie, right?
That's right, sir.
But to say just a few words, she's really a fantastic woman. She's a great senator. And I got lucky. I was supporting somebody else, and then I realized that the somebody else wasn't very good. And I said, who's that young woman I met that was so impressive? They say her name is Katie Britt. I said, let me talk to her. I talked to her. I endorsed her. She won in a landslide. And you've been winning in landslides ever since. So you've been doing a great job, Katie. Thank you very much. I thought I should explain it.
Thank you.
I built you up, Katie. You would never betray me, would you? You would never betray me, Katie. I made you and I can unmake you. But I love Katie so much. She's so good. Like, it's genuinely, like, creepy abuser behavior. Like, he's threatening her at a press conference in front of the entire country. It's really with, like, abuser rhetoric. It's very weird and deeply disturbing. And all of this is on top of the fact that he's continuing to escalate things around the world with other countries. And if you think I'm talking about Iran, I mean, yes, but that's not even the only country he's doing that to right now. Here's Venezuela's acting president having to reject Donald Trump's continued pushing for Venezuela to become the 51st state of America. Genuinely, Donald Trump seems to be thinking that his way of making sure Republicans stay in power is by making Venezuela a state. That's not a joke. We're in insane times.
If Trump wants more babies, all he has to do is pump the sweet, sweet sound of Tim Pool singing.
It's true. That's the real baby making music for MAGA. But yeah, we will continue to defend our integrity, our sovereignty, our independence, our history, said Delcy Rodriguez, who assumed power in January following a U.S. military operation that ousted then President Nicolas Maduro. Venezuela is not a colony, but a free country, she added. And apparently that's all in response to, on Fox News, Trump jumped on and started talking about how he was seriously considering making Venezuela the 51st state. He's saying it about Canada, he's saying it about Venezuela, and also he's picked a war with Iran for no reason. And also, I've got additional bad news for you guys. Things regarding Cuba are getting worse. This is from, yesterday. U.S. intelligence gathering flights are surging off of Cuba. He has now threatened to invade Canada, Iceland, Cuba, Venezuela, Iran. Like, he's just going around the world like a toddler with a gun. And it's really gross. And it's really awful. I don't know how this is all gonna end, guys. But, like, this is some wackadoo nonsense shit. Like, we are, maybe one bad week away from Donald Trump declaring war on the sun and committing the entirety of the U.S. military to launch via Space Force to go and fight the sun. Like, we are so fucking close to just some absolute madman nonsense order. And it's like, I don't know where it goes from here, but I do have to say, I do think that it is indicative of the collapse of kind of support in Trump and his behavior. Like, the support of Trump lags behind his behavior, but his behavior has gotten increasingly erratic, increasingly irrational, increasingly something that you can't just excuse infinitely with rationalizations. And, like, it's being reflected. This piece in the New York Times came out like last week, and people are upset. These are like Trump voters feeling frustrated, worried, betrayed, disappointed, surprised. 11 Trump voters on what has gone wrong. And, like, I do have to say, this is maybe one of the most infuriating articles that I've ever had the displeasure of reading. I want to shake each and every one of these people and ask, like, what the hell were you thinking? You saw everything that we did. What the hell were you thinking? Kitty, you said disappointed and hopeful. Tell me more. So much has happened. We're starting to see we're getting disillusioned, and all these false promises are starting to be like, we know it for what it is now. Now that we know and we don't feel as naive or trusting, then we can properly create a path forward to get going in better directions. It's like, bitch, you saw him. He's already done this. He did this already. No Democrat in this article? What? It's because it's talking to Trump supporters to try and, like, understand them. Chris, you said surprised. What made you say that? Life is becoming more and more unaffordable. The prices of things like gasoline and food overall haven't come down. I thought it would just be a lot more affordable. Yeah, he thought Trump would give egg back, and instead Trump take egg, Trump take gas? What? Who could have ever thought that this guy who's famous for not paying his workers would ever screw you over? Like, tell me why you feel betrayed, Francesca. We were made a lot of promises during the election. I know that it's only been a year and a half, but I don't think I've really seen much progress toward even moving toward what he said he's going to do, such as tax breaks or, let's see, helping with the education system. I feel like he just defunded a lot of the education systems, the schools. I don't know why he made so many promises. He was talking about eliminating the Department of Education. How did you think that was going to make things better? I want to shake you. I thought he was going to pass tax breaks. He did for the wealthiest people to ever walk the planet, just like he did last time. He gave trillions of dollars to the wealthiest people to ever exist last time, and he gave them trillions more dollars this time. When he said he would try to fix immigration, I was behind it. But then the way he did it, it's just not the way I agree with. What turned out to be different? How ICE was treating people, this is not the way to do it. I thought he'd learned his lesson and was going to prove to everybody he learned from his mistakes, and he was going to turn the country around, and he was going to be a stellar president, but it turned out to be a horror movie. I was so wrong with the vote for him. Like, he was literally campaigning on mass deportations now. What the fuck did you think that was going to be? What the fuck did you think mass roundup and mass incarceration of immigrants was going to look like? Did you think it was going to come with a concierge and a mint on the pillow? Yeah, last time we got kids in cages, you thought we were going to get not kids in cages again? Yeah, it's like his first term never happened, exactly. And I'm just absolutely baffled, right? But this is kind of what I meant. You know, when we roll back the clock to like a year and a half ago, right after the election, what did I tell you guys? I told you that the only way these people are going to wake up is through economic pain and through seeing kind of these consequences happen. The only way they're going to be disillusioned with this cult of personality that Donald Trump has built up around himself is through pain, through suffering. And my hope was that enough pain and suffering would allow them to realize that not only was Trump wrong, they were also wrong. The positions they had were wrong. And it's only now, as this like shambling monstrosity, you know, empowered with necromancy, shambles along, heaving out words through every torrid breath. Like, it's only now that they're like, maybe we got some things wrong. You know, maybe this decomposing homunculus doesn't have all these things figured out. And I'm just like, yeah, it only took you almost a decade to figure that out. And all that being said, right, like, and this keeps going on. Like, it is a very lengthy piece. Are there things that have gone well, or decisions he's made that you do think are good? He promised a secure border, and that's what he did right away on day one. That was probably his biggest accomplishment so far. These people talk as if like there's just a switch you flip on the border that like closes the doors. Like, it closes the doors and like that's it. Yeah, the doors are shut now. No more immigrants. And that's just stupid. That's not how it works. But that's how they think it works. And I just have no idea how these people make it through the day after day. I somewhat agree on the border comment. Part of what bothers me regarding that is the fact that it seems to be just one ethnicity type that's being targeted in regards to immigration. He's not trying to clean up both sides of the country's borders. If he was more consistent in treating immigrants as immigrants and not just one demographic, then I would agree wholeheartedly. But the one thing that he's done right, and that's why I gave him that grade that I gave him, is the fact that he's tough on crime and especially addressing cartels. I'm dying.
Happy Jack after Seg.
I'm dying. Story of the Bard, thank you. I will need something to make me happy after this segment. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. But like, well, I guess it'd be fine if he was putting both brown and white people into concentration camps is insane. It's insane. Like, you would feel better if more people were being tortured is an insane thing. Like, Donald Trump's entire administration is falling apart. And he's in front of the world just straight up saying nonsense. Like, absolute meaningless, garbled bullshit. And after a year and a half of that, in front of these people who voted for him, only now are they starting to say, well, some of these things seem pretty nonsensical and bad even. But, you know, damn it, he does make us feel a bit more secure. Like, that's insane. And, like, I don't know. I guess all of this to say, the insanity is taking a toll, okay? It's taking a toll in a number of different ways. I want to direct your attention to this article that was making the rounds earlier today from The Writing, right? And this one monitors different traffic to different websites and essentially takes a look at how the different conservative outlets are doing based on their traffic and compares it to the previous year, of course. Basically, every conservative news outlet is doing worse. In some cases, significantly worse. The Daily Wire has been hit particularly hard. As we've noted in the past here on this channel, traffic dropping by 39%. The Blaze has lost almost 50% of its traffic. The Federalist has lost 51% of its traffic. And but this isn't a limited phenomenon, right? And part of it is that I had assumed that it was localized to the Daily Wire based off of maybe Hungarian money stopped flowing in and they couldn't support their ecosystem anymore, right? They made some bad investments, the money stopped flowing, and that left them with not enough resources to keep on making content and buffing it in the same way that they had in the past. However, this makes it clear that either Hungarian money from Viktor Orban was extremely spread out, or it indicates to me that there was some Hungarian money at play here, but also the insanity of these far-right propagandists is suddenly being received as insanity, right? Like, these people are watching all of these outlets and going, well, that doesn't seem right. Well, and they're stopping. They're like going elsewhere. And of course, I do happen to think that the places they're going, they're not going to leftist content creators. They're going to people like Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, etc. They're going to these independent content creators that they view as inherently more trustworthy or truth tellers, as opposed to places like the Daily Wire or Red State or whatever. And I think that's why places like the Epoch Times are less affected by this, because you can see here their traffic has actually gone up by 0.2%. They've remained in a field of massive freefall, relatively stable. Similarly, the Free Press has been able to remain mostly stable, largely due to its association with CBS and Barry Weiss kind of making it more mainstream with this hostile takeover that she's been doing of CBS. And the other big winner, of course, is Truth Social, because Donald Trump's the president and he owns Truth Social and he only puts out messaging on Truth Social. So I'm attributing kind of the ecosystem collapse on the far right as largely downstream from Donald Trump being wackadoo insane, right? And I don't think these guys were getting Hungarian money or that it was effective or influential. No, they were absolutely getting Hungarian money. It's part of why the far right kept whining and dining folks like Viktor Orban. It's because they were getting money from Viktor Orban and Viktor Orban's oligarchs, right? That was one of the big... Did none of you ever wonder why Viktor Orban kept turning up at Turning Point USA events? Or why people from his administration kept turning up? And why all of these conservative content creators kept flying out to Hungary to talk about how great Viktor Orban was? No, there was definitely a monetary relationship between there. It wasn't just political expedience, right? How long have they been getting that money? Probably for the last several years minimum, maybe longer than that. Viktor Orban's been around for a bit, right? So all of that is to say, I do think that there are some positive signs coming out right now. That the insanity of Donald Trump, the insanity, the out-of-touch nature of this administration that's trying to brand babies as Trump babies, while trying to boost the white replacement rate of the United States of America, It's like I think all of this insanity, like while Donald Trump threatens one of the lady standing behind him who was key in drafting the legislation he's touting, like all of this starts trickling down in a myriad of different ways to actually like affect and start to poison that cult of personality that has blinded so many conservatives to what is happening with their big sweaty orange boy. And I think it's pretty telling and important. We are watching, obviously the decline of America on a mass scale, but and the decline of American empire, but we're also watching like the entire infrastructure of the GOP bend and break and like groan under the weight of Donald Trump's incompetence, both mental incompetence as well as, physical incompetence, right? So like it is falling apart for them, and you love to see it, but it also, and just to end this segment on a bit of a word of warning, it also makes the GOP a wounded animal. And what we are seeing right now with the redistricting wars, with GOP members of Congress going along with Trump's insanity, it's because they're wounded animals. They know it, and it makes them more dangerous. And that, more than anything, should make us all realize the need, existential need, for us to organize, to hold true to one another, to build our support networks, to, show up for our communities, etc. And if you want to take the first step towards doing that, we have folks in this community who can help you get involved with your local Dems or your local DSA. There are many other groups you could organize with, of course, but those are the two that we can get you started on. And we need folks to join your local Dems so we can make them more progressive, so we can make them like actually willing to fight this administration. And that starts at the local level. You can start it actually at the local level if it hasn't started already. And we also need folks to organize labor in their communities. Go out, join your DSA, get organized with the local labor unions, with the local workplaces, maybe organize some new workplaces, but build that base of political power however you can, because we need it. We need to build this power base, because what we're seeing right now is the dying collapse of a supergiant, and that can either explode or it could implode. And either way, we're going to have to hold on to one another to keep ourselves safe, okay? And all that being said, get organized, reach out to Gamergy for help with DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. And if you got anything out of this, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Comments longer than 8 words really help in the algorithm. And also, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. Go check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. It is non-tucking lingerie, very sexy. Link down in the description, and let's keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, dating, flame more.